Okay, I think we're live. Got to figure out some way to get a preview going. Let me see if anybody in the comments can confirm. Okay, Patricia says hi. I guess that means I'm on. I moved my webcam around. Let me just see if I can pull up this window so I can tell if I'm in frame. Remind people what we're doing here. I can see I'm having a good hair day. All right. Looking good. Thanks, big bearded nerd. Hey, Lauren. Hey, JR and Swamsa. We're back again because one time wasn't enough for you clowns. We gave away 10 of these beautiful box sets. The light's not great right now. Inside, the new cover art of Wool, Shift, and Dust, and the Silo Stories, which tells a little bit about the before, during, and after of the trilogy. Very exciting stuff, answers some big questions that people had. And yeah, if you haven't read those yet, you're going to love them. The only way to get them, if you get the box set online as a Kindle edition, these will come with it. But the only way to get this physical edition is with the box set. I found out, I was just inquiring like how many of these they printed, because I know they're selling pretty quick. And I was worried when we did the first run of hardbacks back 10 years ago, they printed 1,000 the first time, and they were gone like in a day. And so those first editions were really hard to find, but they've kept up with the printing since. But they printed about 6,000 of these this first time, which is a lot more than I would have thought, because it's, these things are expensive to make, and I wouldn't think there'd be that much demand, but we're probably going to sell out of this first batch. And we gave away 10 not too long ago, but a few days ago. And I just asked the publisher if we could do more, because there was like 600 people trying to win 10. Not good odds. So I haven't looked at the comments on the second post to see how many of you entered, but we're going to give away 10 more of these bad boys. And they'll come all pretty and shrink wrapped. And once we can move around and do book events again, hopefully I'll see some of you guys at a book event. You'll bring your box set in and I'll get them signed for you. Kathy says she loves the hair. I'm probably having a crazy hair day. It's been a day doing laundry and getting a lot of chores done. So was not expected to see humans this evening. Let's see. Oh, Jeopardy's on. I'm sorry. Sorry if I'm messing up anybody's evening by doing this live now. But let's go ahead and do the winners. If anybody needs to get off, they can, and maybe we'll hang out for a little bit. I'm going to do them on the big computer. I've got the same plugin set up. This time it's selecting from the Wool box set giveaway winners and more blog entry. So if you commented on that entry, matter of fact, let me just I want to go there right now and just see roughly how many comments we're looking at. Oh my. Oh goodness. Okay. I don't know if the odds are going to be any better, but hey, at least it's a second round. We're doing 10 more, but it looks like a lot of comments on that blog post. But out of those 10, we're going to discard multiple entries, but if you commented more than once, you still get one chance to win. I'm going to click pick winners, and this amazing pick giveaway winner plugin on WordPress, and it's going to spit out 10 names and email addresses. I'm just going to run down the first names here. Some of these are common names, so it might not guarantee that you've won. But we've got Ashley, Paolo, Todd, Anna, Selena, Hetty, Doug, Ray, Luke, and Justin. It's Doug, last name starts with a C as in cat. Ashley, last name starts with an R. Anna, last name starts with a D. Hopefully that's enough for you if you're watching to know that you won. If you didn't hear your first name, I did everything I could to double your chances and then some. I wish everybody could win one of these sets. Thank you guys so much for entering and commenting. I'm going to go back into the blog post and interact with you there. But we have some time if you want to ask any questions or chat for a bit. I've got about 10 minutes before I need to fire up the grill and start making dinner. If you have any questions about the box set or life or what's going on, and congrats to the winners again. And if you weren't able to win one, add it to your cart at Amazon and keep an eye on it. The price has been fluctuating. I've seen it down under $50. I know independent bookstores have ordered over 1,000 of these. I don't know if the one near you has one or not, but call them and see if you can get it from them to support them. You can think of it as a charitable donation. These bookstores really need our help right now. Trying to coordinate with a bookstore here in New York. I want to do a really big giveaway. My idea is to buy 100 copies at full retail for a bookstore in New York of the new wool. So that'd be like $1,600 right to their pockets. And then we would do a digital giveaway, first come, first serve in New York. And we'll do it out on the sidewalk. So we'll be able to socially distance and do it safe. And whoever won will just be able to come up and get their copy, or we'll do a giveaway there at the bookstore. But my idea is like to try to think of ways to do promotions that are actually helping these shops and get some money to the right people, but also get some people out and see that the bookstores are open and you can shop in them. You just have to, be careful, be safe. Okay, Big Bearded Nerd asked, are you doing NaNoWriMo this year? I am. We have 4 or 5 days of sanity left before things get really crazy. I can't believe what everything's going to happen this November for Nano. I mean, you've got a semi-important election, I hear, happening, and who knows what kind of chaos that's going to create. We've got a pandemic underway. We've got to write an entire novel in November, and there's also some incredible video games coming out in November, and a PlayStation 5 if you can get your hands on one of those. So a lot of distractions. So big challenge to get a book written this NaNoWriMo. And I think I'm going to write the sequel to Sand for this NaNoWriMo. I've already started it, but I'm going to just start from scratch to try to do my 50,000 words pure and then get into the revisions over December. Hope to have a sequel to Sand ready to go off to editors early in the year. Oh, someone's asking what's NaNoWriMo. It stands for National Novel Writing Month. It's an amazing organization. Go to nanowrimo.org. And every November, millions of us try to write an entire book in 1 month, which takes about 1,670 words per day. And if you keep that up every single day at the end of November, you've got an entire book written. JR asked, what games in November are you looking forward to? Oh my God, Cyberpunk 2020 something. Really looking forward to that one. If I can get my hands on a PlayStation, Ratchet and Clank is my favorite game franchise of all time. So I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, 2077. Thanks. We have been fiddling around with the Neo word processor. I've been talking with a different team. Other people have been pushing it forward a little bit at a time. Austin, I'm getting ready to try out this Free Write Traveler. It just launched today, and they start shipping in the next few weeks. And it's a keyboard with a little tiny screen, like a Kindle type screen, so the battery lasts for weeks. And basically, you can't use this thing for anything other than writing, and it's very portable. So, someone's commenting that they had the original Free Write. So this is the Free Write Traveler. It's just the same technology in a small device, and it syncs to the cloud. And I won't have it in time for the start of NaNoWriMo, but I'll be back on my Air working in Pages. Show you what my normal writing, environment looks like this. And I just put it in full screen mode. And when it's in full screen mode, all you have at the bottom is your word count. You can just turn everything else off, all the sidebar stuff, and turn off the internet and work in this environment. And it's a great way to zone out. I don't like the distractions and the gizmos and all the buttons and stuff. So that's how I write. Peter, do you plan to resume your trip after the pandemic? Yeah, I do. I'm giving myself, I'm optimistic that we'll get things semi back to normal by spring or summer of next year. But I think people are going to be behaving different for a long time, and there's going to be some natural xenophobia, especially with the among the islands, because you can really lock this down on an island, and having visitors is very terrifying. So I've got friends who are in New Zealand and can't get to their boats in Fiji because of the quarantining requirements. So I'm thinking it might be 2 years before it's going to be really comfortable to be sailing again. And the timing works out great. A little bit of news. I think my fifth or sixth project just is going underway in Hollywood right now. This one's a short story. Can't announce anything yet, but a short story is getting some interest. We got 2 offers last week. We're waiting on a third before we make a decision. So 2 things are in writers' rooms. One thing has been kind of greenlit, but during the pandemic, it's hard to start shooting. But the whole purchase price has gone through, so that's been nice. But that's 5 or 6 things moving in Hollywood. So it's been really good to be here, where I can just read manuscripts and participate in these distance writing rooms and help out with that. I see someone saying Scrivener does full screen too. I might try Scrivener again. Every time I've tried it, I've just I don't love the way it breaks up things into individual chapters. I'm glad people love it and are getting used out of it. It's just not my favorite. Who's my favorite fan during this comment session? I would have, just to be honest, not sorry for everybody else, but I have to say it's Billy Norris, who always asks great questions and never self-serving questions, which is nice. Let's see, what else is going on? A title for Sand 2 yet? Yeah, well, it's going to be called Across the Sand. And it's going to start with this character in the town that Vic leveled in the end of Sand. And we're going to see it's the daughter of like the big bad guy from the first book. And her whole life, she's been raised to hate the people who come across no man's land, like these people who, like Vic's dad, who left to try to see what the rest of the world's like. So she's been brainwashed by her dad, and part of her challenge is going to be to overcome this animosity and hatred she has. So the first book, I was really thinking about Syria and people choosing to leave their home because conditions get so bad where they are during times of war and drought. And with this book, I'm going to really tap into my feelings of racism and just an issue that's at the forefront today. And so that's guiding the book a lot. The other theme I'm playing with is this idea that I don't want to take it all the way to simplify it to just saying the grass is green on the other side, but that concept that the direction that we're looking and pining for can not just blind us to how good things are where we are, but to the fact that there are people looking to where we are and wishing we could get there. And so in this story, this girl is just thinking if she can, the people that are invading her town are coming from the West. And she lives on this border town where everything is better to the east. And she wants out of her town. She wants a better life. She wants to head east, head east, head east. And she doesn't realize that she lives where all these other people would just die to get to. And I think it's a metaphor for progress and where we are through human history, where it's hard to look at the present and all the progress we've made from the last 100 years, social progress, and realize that we are in someone else's promised land. But from here, we just want more. And I think it's right to want more, but it's also necessary to realize that we are standing in a place that people fought really hard to build for us. And to balance those two, the ability to appreciate where you are while dreaming of a better place is very difficult. We end up doing one or the other. People end up saying, this is good enough. We don't need any more progress, or people are saying like, this is absolute hell. We need to get out of here. And I think there's a mix of the two that are true. So to kind of highlight that, my idea is to start the story off with this girl is kind of like following, school's let out and this girl's kind of got her eye on this guy she has a crush on, and he's looking over his shoulder and kind of laughing at the idea that she likes him. And meanwhile, there's a guy following her, and her friend points it out, like, check out that dork, and she's laughing at the fact that this guy's following her. And I think we just tend to forget that the people who are pining for something are being pined for, and they can't recognize their place in that chain. So that's part of what I'm going to be writing about. How do you keep your joy as a writer? Oh my God. Like, it's an escape. It's just like reading. Like, I think if you think of writing as a chore, my problem, honestly, lately has just been that I have so many worlds I want to dabble in. I've been writing a lot of short stories because I just want to play in this world and get it out and finish that story. But the idea of, like, if you think of it like, I have to get this done, you won't enjoy it. If you think like, oh my God, I get to go in and create a new world and create new characters and play with them and put them through hell and help them figure out a way out of it, then you do it just because you want to. So the trick is to put yourself in a mindset where, like, you just are looking forward to pushing words around a page and make them better, and make the prose sing if you can, and improve every sentence. It's just fun. It's just fun. Holly, best fiction I've read lately. Oh my God, I read The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead, which is one of the best books I've ever read in my whole life. He lives here in New York. I'm going to figure out where he lives. I'm going to stalk this guy. I realize now that I met him briefly at an event years ago, and I hadn't read The Underground Railroad at the time, and so I did not know how to properly fanboy. But oh my God, this is the kind of writing that either makes you want to never write again or makes you want to try harder, because it is phenomenal. It's called The Nickel Boys. Go read it. It's not very long. It's fantastic. Okay. How do the people know enough to hate the people across the sands, the way of how they live? They don't really know how they live, Anna, but they hate them because they're coming in and wanting their stuff. It's sad. We should. It's the problem we have at our southern border, where we have people who they're not just coming from Mexico, they're coming from Central and South America, where there's just life is hard, and they're traveling a long way with their kids, hoping for a better life, and they're doing it. People say it's not legal. It's perfectly legal. You can come to our borders and ask for asylum, and that's what these people are doing. It came up in the debate, the third, I guess it was the second debate, but the most recent presidential debate, about the fact that when you do this catch and release thing, like, most of the people that come in and seek asylum and are given a date to present their case, they come to court on that date and they present their case and try to enter legally. And we should be welcoming this, especially, I'm shocked that it's the party that says they're religious that is against this. I mean, this is the Good Samaritan. We have so much here. We have such an abundance in this country, and we should be welcoming in as many people as we can take. And if you travel across the country, there's a lot of empty space here. There's a lot of space, a lot of room, and everybody that comes in is creating jobs, not taking jobs, and they're committing fewer crimes than we are as native-born people. Like, there's no reason not to take them in. This is something I explored in the third book I ever wrote, Mollified in the Blood of Billions, was all about immigration. So it's something I'm passionate about. Let's see what's going on. Marley says, I have beautiful eyes. I think it's the filter. I think it's not real. Oh, Carrie, yeah. Sand is such a cliffhanger. It's crazy. It's been like 6 years since I wrote that book, and I've been leaving people hanging. But part of it, I used to feel pressure to follow up sequels. That's why I wrote the 4 Mollified books so quickly. It's why the 5 parts of Wool came out so quickly. But now I realize that I have books that people haven't even discovered. I don't tell people about all my books. So not many people have read iZombie, and I would love to go back to that world. But I don't feel pressure to do it now, because when I write the sequel, that's the time to promote the first book as well. So, but yeah, Donna, I already announced the winners. Let me see, Donna. I need to copy them into. Sorry, no Donna. Yeah, and I'll send emails out to everybody. Um, yeah, Will, did you get one of those books? Yeah, I when I was signing copies of Sand for people back in the day, I lived near a beach and I went and got like a big scoop of sand, and as I was signing, I was sprinkling sand in the book because, like, if you read the story, just sand gets in everything. And I thought, oh man, this is like a really cool, way to immerse the reader. Like, you open their signed book and sand falls out, and I think some people loved it, but I didn't realize like not everyone's gonna love that. Some people open their book over like their food or the the kitchen floor, and they're having to like sweep stuff up. I thought it was funny. Um, oh, Will got one of those. And so did Casper. Yeah, I think a lot of people did. Oh, see, Kathy was smart. She never opened her book. She just left the sand in it. I think the craziest thing I ever did for a signed book when iZombie came out, I was signing in red ink, so it looked like I was signing in blood, and then I would tap. I had a one of those fountain pens, and I would tap the pen on my finger, and it would splatter blood everywhere. And then I would leave them propped open so it would dry, and it looked great. It looked like I'd been shot while I was signing the book, or I was had a nosebleed or something. But it made it really gory, which iZombie is a super gory book. And while I was doing it one day, I was doing like a live signing like this, and there was like a nail sticking out of um, my little cushioned ottoman in front of me, and I stepped on the nail, and my foot was bleeding, and I was like, oh my god, I got to go to Band-Aid, and I'm sitting there signing in fake blood. Someone was like, you signed the books in real blood, and I am not this dark, but I thought, well, it's bleeding, so I put a new nib in, and I think a few people have copies of iZombie with like brown. After a while, like it doesn't stay red; it turns like black. So, apologize to those people. There's some of my DNAs out there. If you ever need to frame it for something. Okay, let's see. Max asks, how did you get into sailing? Would you recommend taking ASA classes or just get a small trainer boat, take it on a lake? I got into sailing as a little kid. We had a little sailboat in our beach house that we stayed in for 2 weeks out of the year, and I would spend the whole time on this little boat. And then in college, when I was in Charleston, I met a ballet dancer through a friend of mine who was in Charleston Ballet Theater, who was living on a sailboat, and it was just like a light went off in my head. I was like, you're allowed to do this? You can just live on a boat? And then I asked him, like, what's your boat cost? And he was like, yeah, like $15,000. I was like, oh my God, that's like buying a house for the cost of a car. So I found a $10,000 or $12,000 Watkins 27 up in Baltimore, and me and my best friend, the ballet dancer, we went and grabbed it in late December one year, and nearly died sailing it down around Cape Hatteras during like in winter with the northern blowing. Had no idea what we were doing. To this day, it's the worst seas I've ever seen. And, I thought we were going to die. I wanted to die, actually, but we made it to Charleston, and then living on that boat, I just fell in love with the lifestyle, living on a boat and sailing, and dropped out of college, sailed around the islands for a year, started working on yachts. That was all before I started writing. Let's see. Yeah, that's a crazy story. Yeah, my life story. It's funny how some people know me not as a writer, as like a vagabond who lives on a boat, and they're like, "You wrote books? I can't believe why would you do that?" And then some people think of me as a writer, and they're like, "When you took off on a boat, like we just giving up on life?" And the reality is, like I've wanted to live and sail around the world since I was little. I've wanted to write books since I was little, and I've been able to balance between the two and balance them. So, well, right now I'm playing with a short story that might become a novel while I'm waiting to start NaNoWriMo in 5 days. On November 1st, I'll start with a blank document, which I've already got open. And actually, I've kind of cheated. I've got 7 words written because I've got the title and the chapter. And I've got 50,000 words written in this book already that I've been working on for years. But I'm going to just start from page 1, and I'll maybe copy and paste and reincorporate stuff later. But for NaNoWriMo, I'm just going to try to do 50,000 words raw, see how it comes out. I think I covered most of it. Yeah, Leba, I mentioned that bookstore giveaway. I contacted a couple of bookstores in town about this, just trying to get one of them to feel comfortable doing it and trying to figure out how to do the giveaway online. Because the problem with giving away books, and this is apt to what we're doing here because I'm giving away these box sets, is you want to make sure it's people that actually want the book. So if we just do it on the sidewalk, you'll just get people walking by who grab a book they'll never read. So we want to figure out how to do the giveaway online, and then people can come in and redeem their winning ticket. But it's hard to figure out. But we're working on that. All right. It's not like Zoom. I can't see any of you guys or interact with you. I'm just talking to the void. Casper asked if I'm still in touch with any of the old Wool writers. Yeah, we say, every now and then we exchange emails. It's been weird during coronavirus. You don't keep up with the same people in the same way. But yeah, a lot of people out there doing well and making a living as writers. And I'm really honored that any of them, yeah, Patricia's in the chat right now and says, well, yeah, just honor that so many incredible writers in their own right spent time in this world. It's like incredible honor. Never forget the first person reaching out saying, "Do you mind? Like, what are your feelings about fan fiction? Do you mind if I write a story in Wool?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love fan fiction. The only thing I don't love about it is you guys don't charge money for it. And I think fan fiction authors should be able to sell their stories. So I encourage this person to write Wool fan fiction and put it up on Amazon and charge for it." And that started once that person did it. Like within the fan fiction community and within the Wool fandom, people heard like that I was cool with it, and more than cool, I I bring this up a lot, but most of Shakespeare's works were fan fiction. He was writing versions of plays that had been written before. He was writing about historical figures. He was borrowing from the real world. He didn't write a lot of original ideas. He just wrote other people's ideas and other people's lives really beautifully. A lot of the Bible's fan fiction, one of the best-selling and most important books of all time. There's 4 versions of Jesus's life, the gospel, and there's more that didn't make it in. So fan fiction has got this reputation that doesn't make any sense because it's like how literature happens. So yeah, 100% on board with fan fiction writers. Billy Norris says, yeah, I don't have that phone number anymore. I don't think. You can try calling it now if you want. I don't know if my phone's anywhere near me. I think my phone number's changed since then. But yeah, my phone number's on the cover of an old version of Shift Part 2 or Part 3. And it's like coded weird. So you can't tell it's a phone number, but if you figured it out and called it, I would answer and we would chat. A few people did that. It was fun. That's been part of the coolest thing about being a self-published writer is doing weird things like that. There's no rules. You can do whatever you want. And even with this, like I put a lot of pressure on the publisher to make this box set, include these silo stories and include these new essays. And well, Billy, my phone's not ringing. Must be someone else's number now. Yeah, there was someone who used to call me every now and then from that, and we would like every few months they would just call and we would chat. They were the only person who really kept up with me that way. I guess everyone else worries you're bothering people, but there was someone who would call until I got a new number. Okay, well with that, it's almost 8. I'm gonna go start the grill, fire up the grill, and start cooking some chicken for dinner. Guys, thank you for being a part of this giveaway. I don't know that anybody who won was on while I was calling out the winners, so I'm sorry that people tuned in and are disappointed. But if you get a chance to, hey, Christmas is coming up. If you don't want to buy it for yourself, just tell people this is what I want. Send them the link. Tell them to get you one of these box sets. And then when we can get around the country safely again, I'm going to come around and sign all your books. So get ready. We'll do a tour. I'll come stay on your sofa once we can hang out again. I'll be so eager to be crashing at everybody's house. All right, guys. Love you all. Take care. Namaste. See you on the flip side.